Hello everyone, this is Ty's Fishing Tackle Industry Channel. Thank you very much for watching. So in this video, I would like to speak to you about the Shimano. Shimano is of course very famous for the high technology fishing reels, and most of you can access to the products. And here in this video, I would like to explain you about their history of fishing tackle business, and then picking up some of the famous names and by the timelines of their history. So let's start. Shimano, as a company, they are established in 1921. It's quite a long history, but the beginning of their business is not the fishing tackle, but they are first producing the free wheel of the bicycles. So they started their business in the bicycle, and as you know, this side of their business is growing, and they're quite number one position in the bicycle components business. And surprisingly, after they established their company in 1921, it was about 50 years later that they started their fishing tackle business. So in 1970, they first established their division for the fishing tackle, and then they produced the first reel, and this is called DUX, spinning reel. And this is backed up with the, let's say, trend of the Japanese market. But by that time in Japan, the economy was rapidly growing. So at that time, one of these activities are fishing and outdoor activities. And looking at this as a chance, and then Shimano started their business in the fishing industry. And then after this first reel, so in 1970s and in 1978 actually, so they established, they launched the products, the brand name Bantam. Bantam is still existing, so it was 1978. So there you see, by that time you can imagine that their business is quite, let's say, outgoing in terms of course, they are very strong in Japanese domestic market, but their eyes are looking at the overseas market from the very beginning of the business, and they have been having this view to look at the overseas market for their entire history of their development in the fishing tackle division. So in the 1970s, they already started their operations in Germany and Singapore. And then also 1980s, they expanded their activities in Canada, then United Kingdoms and Netherlands. And the Netherlands are having a very big headquarters currently, and this was starting in 1980. So in 1980s, the famous brand names that they introduced is a Nexus. So Nexus, yeah, it's a wide range of products are still, you can see these names in many of the products. And then in 1990s, so their activities are further expanded globally, and then they started their operations in Malaysia and then Australia. So in 1990s, some of you knows that in Japan, the economy is booming, and then even it's a bubble economy, but the economy is booming. And then at this time, middle of 1990s, the bass fishing was booming. So under these economic situations, they invested a lot for the flagship products. So in 1992, they launched the Stella products, and in the bait casting reel segment in 1991, they started the product's name to Calcutta. So this was 1990s. And then, of course, their activities of Calcutta is the world famous for bass fishing. And the Stella is not only for the small size spinning, but also the expanding to the saltwater and so on. So they're expanding their product range and their market is growing. And in the millennium, they expanded their sales activities in various countries like China or Czech Republic or Taiwan and Scandinavian and so on. So, and their activities are going and going. And now surprisingly, over 50 countries they are operating their business. And then, so in looking at now, this is the 2020s. So their activity, for my eyes, they are looking at more on the, let's say, technology terms. And for example, you have heard of the X ship. So this concept was developed in 2010. And in 2014, they launched the technology named micro modules gear. This is about the gear of the reels. And then 2015, they launched the concept of Hakane. So they are trying to promote their high technology gears are strong and high precision and so on. So these are the recent years, like after 2010s and 20s. So they are trying to promote the more on the technology. That is my impression. And now they are making about 753 million US dollars from their fishing tackle business globally. And this is the 19% of their total activities, business activities. So that means over around 80% is coming from the bike industry, and 19% is from their fishing related businesses. So so there you can see, so their activities is core, of course, is the bicycle business revenue. 80% of the revenue is from there. So this is very important in the fishing tackle business side. So they are quite having a quite strong backbone in their business, and then they're using these resources into fishing industry in terms of that sales facilities or the offices or warehouse and so on. And also technology wise, they have a lot of resources of productions. Not only their own productions, they have a lot of facilities for bicycle business, and they are utilizing this opportunity, their resources, to fishing tackle business. So obviously, so their qualities are very high, and these are backed up with this kind of the structure of the company, Shimano company. So there, but if you have any questions, feel free to write anything in the comment section. And if you like these contents, please like it. And then I would like to keep feeding you interesting information relating to fishing tackle industry. And if you like it, please subscribe and wait for my next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.